we're going to move now out of the, well, we're going to show the last three applications for the first three motions. Now, I am sorry that I used the word last three applications because it is not the last three applications. There are hundreds of possibilities for these first three things, and I want to make sure that you leave here knowing that, and not that, well, Master Reed said there were 18 applications. There are hundreds of possibilities, but we've got to start with something. All right. Maybe I'll remember what I was going to do. All right, here we go. This one right here, we're going to start off with the block on the outside. We're going to move on to the, actually we're not. We'll do exactly like we've been doing everything else. We're going to go to the same place in here, okay? From here, I'm going to step up onto the arc, but this time I'm going to use my shoulder. And so I turn him, and then I'm going to turn back like that. Okay, which would be exactly how the kata works. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, so that's the motion. Check. Now, could I do this again? Could I do this just like this right here? Yes, I could, but I'm checking the elbow because that's a good fundamental thing to do. From that position, I'm going to what? Come up on here, turn him, and then I'm going to what? Just turn back the other way. I'm also going to introduce in the same motion the idea of coming here, whether you're checking the arm and using the shoulder. Then what? Turning back around. So that's the same thing with two different things being used as the bar to move him what? Around me as I become the center of the circle. All right? The next one, he's going to come to here. Once again, I can do this motion, or I can just what? Raise and hold the line. I'm going to come underneath and bar him, and then I'm going to slam this in, okay? By doing what? Compressing that back in and striking. Okay? The last one will be a little more convoluted. I'm going to come to this position here. I'm going to come up. I'm going to slam him in. I'm going to raise him up, see the palm, and I'm going to shoot this palm underneath to this position. This should look the form because it is the form. From there, I'm going to point this palm and turn. Or I can use what? Two hands, or I can just come, or I can just come and step one more time and turn. Because now I'm moving on to the what? Arc. I'm moving on to the circle, all right? So that motion was here. It was moving up onto the circle, slamming him. I am now the center point of the circle, right? Now because of what he's doing with his arm, I got to adjust it. There we go, all right? And then from that position, I fight someone else, so I turn and walk the circle. I'm certain you're going to get that really good, okay? One more time. We have A, which is what? Deflecting, stepping up onto the arm, and then what? Looping back around. We should get that. I have B, where we change the bar here, and we go to the shoulder, okay? And then we loop back around. We have C, which is the exact same motion, all right, except for I'm going to slam it, all right? And then you can walk him off, or you can what? Trap his knees out, okay? That's important. I want to make sure that I hadn't showed that. I forgot about that. So after I come to this position and come here and slam, there's a trap, okay? Every step could be a trap or a kick, all right? Then the last one is going to go here and up, slam. See how I raise and open him up, shoot this hand through. Because he's got flexible shoulders, he knows what's going on. See how I bend that, and then we turn. Partners, here we go. That's why you got a video. All right, now we're going to move to the next set of postures after we walk the circle. What's important here is that Pakwa doesn't always like to attack straight in. Actually, it normally doesn't like to attack straight in. It likes to come from angles. So what we're going to do is work off of our sixth step. Our sixth step, although you could use that theoretically to step around and you know, stand here and break something, more than likely a person's here because you're moving around to the flank of that person, all right? And then your motion finishes and then it turns to this position, okay? So we want to make sure that we understand inside and outside and moving on to the arc. So see what rounds right here? Give me an angle right about there. There you go, we'll see what happens. He's going to punch with his left hand. And see I'm going to step around, see my left hand's on the inside now, and I'm going to what? Break. Right here, right now. All right, that's pretty simple. All right. Or my hand could be on the outside when I hold the line. See how I clip it? And what? Break again. Or break it as you come through on the first part of the motion. Okay, turn on the other side. So left hand punches, I can be on the inside and slip the technique. And as I slip it, I can what? Crack it and break it. I can be on the outside of the technique, okay? And I can hold it here as I what? Crack it and break it. Or as he steps and punches, I can check the elbow or even here, but slide to the elbow and what? Strike right here. all right? After he's stunned, and this will be the all ones for this technique, after he's stunned, then I come to here, see how I scoop down and float him, all right? Don't float your partners all over the place, all right? One more time. So inside, outside. Left hand comes, I'm on the inside, break. Left hand comes, I'm on the outside, break. Hand comes, move on to the circle, strike. Hand comes, move on to the circle, follow, and what? Either I hit him in the back and throw him, or just what? Push through. And partners, here we go. All right, let's bring them back in. I need to cover something. One of the things that's happening is now we stopped doing the kata. All right, you practice the kata a long time, and now we start studying your application, you stop doing what you practice. Don't stop doing the kata. Do the kata, okay? That's what you practice it for. Do the kata. So when that punch comes in, okay, why are you stepping here and stepping out here? Well, how do you do purple sparrow through a scissors tail? You do what? You come around. Come around. Do purple sparrow. Okay? That's the key. That's how you get in position. Okay? Purple sparrow. Strike. Purple sparrow. Check the body. Okay? Purple sparrow. I stepped in nice and deep now, right? Bang! And we can stop right there. And we don't forget the leg thing. Okay? Most of you guys aren't strong enough to get away with that. But you can do that right there if you'll step. Once again, that was 3 different things coming from this angle right here, sir. One was step around here and just hit him. 2 was step around and use my what? Leg position, right here. 3 was step around, hit him, be deep enough, hit right there. This is Bagua, hitting from this angle. That type of stuff, bang, bang. Okay, that's the game. So when you make this motion, you get your whole body, your force comes not from the thrust, but from the rotational component in the hip that drives back in. Okay, which your partners, we move on a second. That's not on tape either. Punching from this side, sir. Right here, right here. All right, we talked about controlling the bridge. See the motion? So when that punch comes, it's spun off to the side again, because this hand is pushing through and turning on the bridge. Okay? And as that hand turns on the bridge, I attack. Okay? And then the next motion after I do that is going to come to here, and then what? Right back around to here. Now, obviously we got a lot of other options, but at this point, we want to keep it just simple enough to kind of just see the basics. The most important thing here is this rotation. See, if I don't rotate, I'm going to get hit. So I rotate. See, as I rotate, the bridge turns. Where does his arm go? And then I go where? Forward. And at the same time, I strike. Now, could it be this strike? Could be. Okay, but played classically here. Could we be trapping the shin again here? Could we be sweeping here? Could we be kneeing here? Could we be hitting him in the spine here? All those things. Plus, we got the follow-up. But all I want you to see for right now is the most important thing is this and the strike. And then if you want to step up, step up. Partners, here we go. That was, once again, there's a lot of stuff, okay? I had the choice of showing you maybe one application for each motion, which you probably could have left with, or showing you a variety of possibilities and giving you a DVD to take with you to practice, which I think over the long haul will give you a better chance to adapt and learn and be able to become creative. Okay, so that was my choice as the instructor, and I'm sorry it's taking a little long, but I think at least you're getting some of what you need. All right, we're gonna now go to Vicious Tiger. All right, he's gonna step and punch. One of the parts of Vicious Tiger that people often don't get is they don't see this part of the motion. They see this, and everyone focuses on that, but they don't see the clearing, okay? They don't make the connection to the center of the body, or to the back, that comes from this position and brings us around. That's how we enter. So when Steve Brown is here, and he punches with his left hand, see, I create an opening, and I step forward. I could be outside, or I could be inside. I will probably be both ways to demonstrate that, so it's on video saying you can be either way. All right, so 1 jab, 2, jab, strike. Now on both of these, I have chosen to go on the arc more or less to the outside of his body. He's not going to punch right hand. For 3, I'm going to cross. See what I check? His elbow. I step and I screw palm up to the back of his head. Okay? Could be this way, but I'm just doing it this way because it's safer for me. All right? And the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cross the arc. I'm going to hit up, and then I'm going to do this exactly like you would do in the kata. Bang. And step forward. Now, I could have done that standing here in one place. A lot of possibilities, but I think it would be much easier for you guys to see 1, 2, okay? Because that should make sense to you. But that also would be exactly what? Out of the kata too. All right? So we have 4. First one, his left hand's punching. I go outside by turning the bridge, and I enter. He punches. I go on to the arc, strike, and hit down. He punches with his right hand, so we give it another side possibility. Instead of staying in the arc this way, I cross the circle, okay, or I go on to that walk. Or think about it this way. I'm already in the circle, so I work the inside part of the circle, okay? And then the last one, as I cross the circle, working the inside part of the circle, I continue to move, all right? And like I said, for the rest of the kata, there we go, all right? Partners, here we go. Don't worry about that last part. Ready? Are we good? Okay. Something. Either way, let's go back to the last thing, left hand punching. Excuse me, right hand. Do the kata, punch. See? Do what you've been practicing. Do what you've been practicing. All right? Once again, this is not going to make sense to many of you today. It's the first time you've seen the applications or seen possible uses of the application. But over time, it should. The key here is that we have worked on the arc, and now we're working on the inside part of the circle. All right, moving on to the next application. What we're going to show you next is a very important concept of martial arts. It's basically low and high, or high and low, okay? Sometimes you go, well, why would I do this, and why would I do that? Because those are 2 different lines that you must protect, okay? You could do them here and here if you were good enough, or you could go here and here. Just depends upon how you want to see it. So Steve Brown, in this case, is going to kick with his left foot because it makes it simple. I'm going to block low. And then when he brings his hand high, I'm going to strike up high. And that's punch again, do the same thing. So that motion should look like precious chicken, Buddha flower, grass stem. Because that's what it is. But more importantly is what? Low hind and high line. What if he went punch kick? What if he went here, here? See, same thing. Bomb, bomb. Looks like some other things we have. Because the lines are never going to change. The mathematics don't modify themselves. You know, they're math. Circle's a circle, a square is a square, a high line's a high line, a low line's a low line. So it becomes a matter of learning how to handle those. So that's our first application for those 2 things is he kicks and then he punches. All right, one more time. He kicks and then he punches. Then the next thing we do is we step around and we what? Break, strike, and hit. Because that would be how the motions would work. Okay? So that's 2 things, although it's really 1 thing. Most important thing first is just getting what? Low and high. Then learn to follow that. Low and high, breaking, hitting, and striking. The last one that we'll show for this set, because we're only going to finish section 2, which we're almost at the end of, which is thank God for that. All right? The next one, when he punches, see how I move off the line? I move onto the arc. Okay, I check, I flank him. Then from this position here, I'm going to dip in and hit up, and then boom, straight down. Okay? But the most important thing here is what? Angular stepping and motion. Up and then down. All right? Everybody with me on that? So that's all we're adding right now. Nobody freak out. Kick, kick. Oh, excuse me. Kick and strike. Again. Kick and strike. Here. Hit. Raise the crown. That's why raise the crown goes here. Do you see the square now? Do you see the supporting angle? That's why it doesn't just go like that. That's why it turns here. Corner. 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 Okay? Yeah. All right? So the little things become more important as we become more aware of them. All right? Can we handle that? I hope so. Partners, here we go. Because we're almost done for the day. It's almost tea time. I realized that last technique when I showed it here out to the side, this is actually more of what? This and that part of that motion. So I want to make sure we're on the same page. It's not really, it could be, depends on how you want to see it, okay? But I see that was more of this than that than I would here, here, here. That's kind of reverse of that. All right. The next part we're going to do is we're just going to look at this part of the motion, all right? See, Brown's going to punch with his left hand, and I'm going to come to here, okay? And I'm going to reverse this out, and I'm going to throw. Okay? That's just what? That part of the motion. Now, realistically, in real life, he's fighting. I'm probably not going to walk up and catch his punch and throw him. Odds are. So more likely, we're going to tie up, and I'm going to hit him. And we're going to be in this position. And when I see this position, I raise this up, and I turn. Okay? You are practicing this as punch. Here, you learn to flow, turn, and throw. Okay? Flow, turn, and throw. Person over here, don't lock your arm out. Just work with your partner. You really want to make that happen, you're probably going to be more bump. See that? Now, I get to throw. But the principle's the same. So we learn the basic principle, and then we go, okay, well, how do I apply this? Well, I got to hit the person, I got to do whatever. Only one, because we only got one to go, partners. All right, here we go. You guys get a bonus technique. You got to like that. This is a bonus technique right here. Woo, over here, see Brown. We go back to the very beginning.